Hey everybody, it's Daniel from the Truck Insurance Channel. Hope everybody's doing well coming into the holidays here. Wanted to do a video real quick about troubleshooting the Amazon Relay application. I still get questions about this all the time. People run into different issues, so I'm just going to run over a few of these real quick and hopefully help y'all get through the application, get approved faster. So pay attention, and if you have anything that I don't go over, I'll probably repeat this at the end, but just drop it in the comments, and I'll see if I can't help you out. And we always do these consultation calls. They're free. Even if you're not like one of our insurance clients, like we're more than happy to help you get through your application. We'll remote log in and see what's going on, see if we can't help you. So first off, the biggest thing we get, right, like you come here to the Relay application site, okay, and, you get started, okay, the requirements. Check out the requirements real quick. Everyone jumps down here to the insurance requirements. They don't pay close enough attention to this part, okay? Your DOT number has to be active, right? And you need to make sure you're like the right kind of carrier. Common or contract carrier is a carrier entity. Sometimes people accidentally select like broker when they're doing their authority application, and you have to have your BOC3 done and your insurance and your authority actually go active, okay? Just because you paid for insurance doesn't mean you're active yet. It can take a day, couple days, depends on your setup. All right. That's why we we do a lot of consultations up front. We go through everything and make sure timeline is good to go. And this, what I'm talking about right now is more towards the people that just applied and are just going active. If you've been active and you're applying to Amazon Relay, this might not really apply to you. Reason being is it can take a couple days for your authority to go active after your insurance filings get done when you start your insurance policy. So it could take a day or two to get your filings done, and then the FMCSA, you got to wait on them to actually turn you over from pending application to active authority. So total turnaround time can be like 1 day, or it could be a week. Just depends on the insurance company. It depends if you've actually waited the 21 days after applying, and holidays, things like that can play a factor. And then again, insurance companies and most definitely the FMCSA can get behind, all right, like way behind. But normally I see like a day or two you're active after you get your insurance in place, as long as you've done everything else right and gotten the timing down. So once that happens, right, the FMCSA database might show that your DOT number and MC numbers are active. Amazon Relay's database automatically ties into one of the many databases that the FMCSA hosts, okay? So there's not like an individual person going through every single DOT number and making sure that they're active with FMCSA, and then they flip the switch on Relay. So when you go to apply, you're good. It's an automated thing, and it should happen every day, but it doesn't. All right, so when you go to type your DOT number in on Relay up here, okay, you might get this little message that pops up and says, you do not meet our compliance requirements. So normally what happens is people will call or email me and say, oh my God, my insurance is active, but I don't have the right coverages. That's not true. You probably do have the right coverages, but Amazon Relay's system isn't connecting and syncing with the FMCSA's database to show that you're actually active, and it can take a couple days. So there is a little button in the top right corner once you get logged in, all right, to contact us, like you're going to contact Amazon Relay. You do that, all right? You put in your name, number, DOT and MC number, all right? I like to do this issue DOT and MC number, and this is the message I'll send. My authority has been active since whatever date it actually went active. You should be able to see that if you check Safer. All right, I'll have a link to check Safer so you know exactly what day you went active. But I'm getting a message stating I don't meet compliance requirements. Please assist in updating the status of my DOT and MC numbers. When you send this, one of Relay's agents or customer service people will actually go into Safer, verify it, and then manually update your DOT number in their database. All right, so the problem is Amazon Relay's database is not syncing currently with FMCSA's database. That's the real problem. It has nothing to do with your insurance. It has to do with the database is not being synced up. All right. So then the next thing I get where a lot of people, tend to get confused or just don't understand how it works is the FMCSA typically for general freight haulers only requires $750,000 in auto liability. Or here, I'll show you this. This is an example from Safer. So this is the licensing and insurance database just of an individual motor carrier. The BIPD, that's bodily injury and property damage, which is your auto liability. It's components of your auto liability policy. That requirement for most general freight haulers is only $750,000 for the FMCSA. Brokers, such as Amazon Relay or clients, customers, whoever, shippers, normally want to see auto liability, which is the same as BIPD or contains BIPD. They always want to see $1 million, okay? So when you look over on Safer or anywhere that shows the data from FMCSA and you only see $750, right? Required amount, $750. Insurance on file, $750. Most of the time, the insurance company is not going to post $1 million on there if it's only required to have $750, because that doesn't mean that you don't have $1 million. That just means that they're only telling the FMCSA, the government, that you have what you're required to have. They're not saying, oh yeah, you have what you need and a whole lot more. So if they get sued, go ahead and sue them for all that extra. You have what they're required to have, okay? They're not spilling the beans and saying you have a whole lot more, all right? Amazon Relay's system does not look at this whatsoever in any capacity. If you go look at the source code and all the HTML and JavaScript, none of it touches any bit of this, all right? All they look for is this piece right here, whether you're active or not. And that doesn't always work. That's why we have to do that contact form, and they have to go in manually sometimes. But otherwise, this makes absolutely zero difference if this shows 750 or $1 million. And the only way this would show $1 million is if you added auto hauling or autos to your commodities or something. There's a few other ways, but you just stick to the script here. This is going to show 750. It doesn't matter to Relay. All right, people get tripped over that way too much. All right, as long as your COI shows $1 million, then you're good. And cargo over here, you don't need cargo on here, all right, unless you're going to be a hazmat, haul people, or haul household goods, moving, residences and stuff. You're not doing that. You're doing general freight. So it's a whole different ballgame. All right. So then what else? The next issue I see a lot is we come into we get past the initial section where it allows you to punch in your DOT NMC number, and then next is just company details. So occasionally something happens when they go to process your application, and they need to get in touch with you to verify something. Something like this address might not match what's on FMCSA, and it should though. Whatever you put on FMCSA needs to match this perfectly for your business address. All right. And your phone number, all right, the phone number here should match what's on your FMCSA application or on your FMCSA data. And you need to be able to answer that phone call if they need to call you, because you can't call them back. And they might call twice. And if you miss both phone calls, go ahead and wait a week to try and get in touch with them to verify your account and get approved. All right, you need to be able to answer the phone, and this phone number that you put in here has to match what's on FMCSA. All right, that's really, God, that's so important. That right there messes up more people than anything else. All right, so make sure that phone number matches. Make sure everything in here is really good. All right, then lastly, let's look, one more thing. So we get over to the insurance section, okay? If you have, Progressive, for instance, most all states except for Texas, this info will have the same company name, which is Progressive, your agent if you have one. If you don't have an agent, you got to put in the email for Progressive Direct. You definitely want an agent, so make sure you get an agent. The agent's phone number, not Progressive's phone number, and your policy number from Progressive. So this is Progressive Insurance. This is your agent's email, the agent's phone number, and then the policy number that you should see on your COI or your declaration pages. Okay, and that will be the same for each of these. You're going to type it in over and over again, okay? If you don't have Progressive, or if you have Progressive and you're in Texas, this section, general liability aggregate, and this section, just regular general liability per occurrence, this will be the same company no matter what, all right? You should never have two separate companies for this, unless you got something really weird going on. Most all people are going to have the same company for these two, like 100% of the time. You might have a different company for cargo, another company for auto liability, and another company for general liability, these two, right? But you should never have a separate company for this one and this one. Super rare that it would be different, okay? And you're definitely going to like have to go through the audit process if those are different, like actually different. What else? So I run into that a lot where people put like the insurance agency or insurance brokerage name right here where it should be the insurance company's name. And then they might put like the 800 number over here and like some generic email address to the insurance company here. Make sure that's an email the insurance agent can actually receive and reply from, okay? Make sure your policy number is good, and then you should be fine. The next couple sections on applying for Amazon Relay, like sometimes people get caught up in the payment section. Like you have to put in your routing and account number for your bank. That's not to pay them. That's so they can direct deposit for you. And if you don't have a business bank account yet, you definitely should get one before you get this set up. You need an account where they can pay your business, because when you're logging in and setting this up and you have your LLC, if you don't have a business bank account in your LLC name, you're gonna run into all kinds of issues getting paid. All right. And that's pretty much it. If you have any trouble with this, even if you're not one of our clients, we're more than happy to help out. So schedule a consultation call. There'll be a link in the description for that. And one other thing, let's say you called up Progressive Direct and you got a policy with them. You didn't go through an agency. You might find here pretty soon that it's difficult to get like certificates of insurance and help with other brokers, getting signed up with them and doing all the insurance verification. If you called Progressive Direct, you can do a agent of record change, and we can handle that policy for you as long as you got that policy like in the last 30 to 60 days. There'll be a link for that below, and I'll do another video on how to fill that out. It's real quick and easy. It allows you to move your policy with Progressive to our agency, still with Progressive. Like Progressive's still going to insure you, but we'll be able to manage your policy. If you got a policy through an agent, through like an agency with Progressive, you got to stay with them. You need to make sure that they can help you out. But if you got one directly from Progressive and you just want us to help you with it, we can certainly help you with that. And again, if you have any other questions, having any other trouble, feel free to reach out, leave comments below. And if you have any like suggestions or things you did that got you approved, feel free to share it. Thank you guys, and have a good one.